Hello, my name is Sherry Vartanian, and I will be telling you about the regulations of the supply chain of catching rock lobster off the coast of Fiordland, New Zealand, and selling it to an overseas market in China. In this particular example, I will discuss Fiordland Lobster Company, New Zealand's largest exporter of live rock lobster. I will begin with an overview of the supply chain and general regulations for each step, including fishing, processing, distribution and exportation, marketing, and customer purchase of the product. I will then go into more detail about two very important aspects of regulation, the Fisheries Regulations of 2001 and the Chinese importation laws, and end with a note on the challenges of the future aspects of the industry. It all starts with fishing for the lobster, but in order to do that, fishing permits must be acquired from the Ministry of Primary Industries, which includes the High Seas Fishing Permit and a certificate of registration for any and all vessels that are in the water. Fishermen for the Fiordland Lobster Company find the lobster near Milford Sounds, Jackson's Bay, Riverton, and a few other coastal waters that are part of the CRAE 8 Quota Management Area. Under the Fisheries Act of 1996 and Animal Welfare Act of 1999, guidelines on acceptable lobsters regulate all fishing practices. The catch is brought to local depots and processing facilities, where all employees handling the catch must be trained to have received a New Zealand certificate in aquaculture. The lobsters are weighed and separated based on different grade levels determined by the Fiordland Lobster Company. Packages are ready to export once they have the proper labeling determined by both MPI and Chinese importation laws. The live lobster are distributed by air by Mainfreight International, which puts them under the jurisdiction of the International Air Transport Association. The IATA has live animal regulations for animals being transported by air, which includes handling, marking, biosecurity, and labeling. Marketing in China is highly dependent on the media and customer preferences. Recently, the diet trend for developed nations is to move towards highly nutritious, low-fat foods that still taste good, which seafood has high stakes in. The younger generation has also showed support for companies who are transparent in their animal welfare practices and sustainability efforts for the environment. Fiordland Lobster Company prides themselves on maintaining strong relationships with the Department of Conservation and local fishermen as a sustainable and law-abiding company offering high-quality seafood. Fiordland Lobster also has been able to market baby crays to the Chinese market, which they are allowed to do so based on the smaller size minimums of different quota management areas. Chinese chefs highly regard these smaller lobsters for their taste and the appeal to customers for small whole lobsters as an entree. The sale of this product has changed over the years to adjust to the age of technology. New Zealand Trade and Enterprise has joined with Tmall.com, China's most popular business-to-consumer online shopping platform. This allows customers in China to purchase seafood to their own specifications from companies in New Zealand. However, the internet is highly monitored in China and is subject to the regulation of the Chinese government. For the typical Chinese citizen, lobster is sold to them in restaurants and not over the internet. The sale of food to the general public is monitored under the Food Hygiene Law of 1995, which is overseen by the National People's Congress and contain rules for any person selling food to the general public. Now, I will delve a little deeper into two important regulatory aspects of this supply chain, the Fisheries Regulation of 2001 and the Chinese importation laws. The Fisheries Regulation of 2001 puts strict limitations on the lobster that is allowed to be caught and sold commercially. This includes catch limits, size limitations, and protection of lobster at certain stages of their life cycle. It states that rock lobster cannot be processed if under 60 millimeters wide for a female or 54 millimeters wide for a male. It includes very specific methods of measuring the lobster and the instruments that are used to do so. It also requires the use of sustainable practices when fishing, such as not leaving pods unattended for over 24 hours, never using a spear or any device that could puncture the shell, quickly measuring the lobster so that they do not go sun-blind, and avoiding holding the animal by their antenna or legs. The legislation also protects any lobster that is in the soft soft shell stage, or females with external eggs from being captured on the fishing vessel. This regulation is important for maintaining the sustainability of rock lobster in the area. In order for rock lobster to enter China as an imported item, there are many regulations that must be followed. Rock lobster falls under the regulation of the Free Trade Agreement, a pact that New Zealand has with China, which allows goods to be imported to the country at a preferential cost as long as New Zealand follows all the guidelines of the agreement. For seafood, establishments must be registered with the Chinese government. Fiordland Lobster Company has received approval from the Certification and Accreditation Administration of the People's Republic of China. They also require a Chinese health certificate for live aquatic animals, which must be labeled on the shipping container and packages in the format used in the Chinese health certificates. These certificates allow the Chinese government and food distributors in the country to know that the food they are selling is safe for the general public to consume. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce oversees all the requirements are met, but there are 8 sub-departments that manage certain aspects of the importation process, such as proper labeling of the country of origin, record keeping, quality control, and ensuring that the imported goods were not altered by any other country on the way to China, all in accordance with the General Administration of Quality, Supervision, Inspection, and Quarantine Decree 183. Although very important to maintain food safety, regulating the supply chain for any agri-food product is expensive and time-consuming. One of the challenges of the future for Fiordland Lobster Company is maintaining positive media coverage. News on the internet travels very fast, and any sort of negative publicity of the company can ruin their reputation. However, the media can open doors for the company that has never been available before. Having online trade of products can make it easier for other markets to purchase lobster. Also, media coverage of the benefits of eating seafood and maintaining the trends of lobster being a high-quality food item will keep demand high. With all of this, maintaining the safety of a food supply chain, especially in the overseas markets, helps keep relationships strong and global public health a priority. Thank you.